Hey guys, Sandy here and welcome back to the channel. Today is Friday, so it is Follow a Sketch Friday. I am using this sketch from the Hip Kit Club. It's got some mixed media and such things and 3 photos, but we're not doing that. I've actually pre-made my mixed media. This is a photograph with the mixed media layout here and the photograph. So we're doing some sort of scrapbooking inception right now. Let's see what I can do. All right, so I'm going to start out with my Misty, and I'm also going to use this 12-inch border stamp from Darkroom Door. Now, Darkroom Door is an Australian company, and let me tell you something, you guys. If you can get your hands on Darkroom Door red rubber stamps, you are in for a supreme treat. Their red rubber is just luscious. Like when it's compared to other rubber stamp companies with their rubber, it's just, there's just no comparison. Like the Darkroom Door stuff is luscious. I met Rachel at Creativation, and I asked her, I was like, wow, why is your rubber so nice? Like, what is it? Do you do something special to it? And she said that they just pay for the quality raw rubber. And I'm like, it makes a difference, and it really does. So I place it down inside my Misty. I am using the magnet to hold it in place. I'm grabbing some Brutus Monroe embossing ink, and I'm inking it up multiple times. And I'm doing this because I want to make sure that I'm getting good coverage from my stamp to my paper. And the beautiful thing about the Misty is it keeps it in the exact same place, so you can repeatedly stamp until you're happy with it. Now, I did use some anti-static powder bag on top of my paper there, and it might have looked a little bit funky because I am holding it with a binder clip, and that just keeps the powder from getting in my fingernails and like down in your cuticles and all that kind of stuff, because that's not fun. So I grab my ultra fine Raven embossing powder. This is also from Brutus Monroe, and I'm just going to go ahead and place it over top of everywhere that I stamped. I'm going to knock it off onto a spare sheet of paper and then put it back into the jar. Now, you guys, I have been embossing a very long time. I have been embossing for years, and I am still a slob with it. I cannot tell you the reason why, other than being messy in art process like doesn't bother me. It kind of makes me happy. But I see all these videos, especially card makers. They, like Jennifer McGuire and Christina Warner, for 2 of them, they just emboss, like, it's so beautiful. It's not messy. They're like, oh yes, you just, tra-la-la, and it holds it all, and it's gorgeous. And I'm just like, why? I've been doing this for years, and I still can't stop the mess. But it's okay, because embossing is magic. I don't care that there's science behind it. Embossing is magic. It's just beautiful. Now, this is me being a doofus because I am embossing on watercolor paper, so I was afraid that it was going to take a little bit longer for it to kind of like cool down and not run into each other. Because sometimes you emboss and you touch it before it's completely dry, and then the embossing powder comes up and you burn your fingers. It's not a fun time. You don't want to do that. I do keep a Swiffer duster handy for when I am embossing, because, that powder gets everywhere and the duster just cleans it up super nice. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you don't see their mess. Maybe you don't see them use their Swiffer. Maybe they edit that out. Maybe everybody's a slob with embossing powder, and I just haven't been cool enough or thought ahead enough. I've tapped my finger to my head if you're visualizing me talking at you. I don't know. I just never thought to edit that out. Okay, anyway. I am going to go ahead and take this photograph and place it on top of this purple paper. It kind of has a metallic sheen to it. It's not like sparkly, but there's a little bit of a sheen, just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and place that paper down on the, place the photo down on the paper, and I'm going to trim it down. Now, I do have two different guillotine trimmers that I love. They are both tonic trimmers with Tim Holtz. And the one is the 12-inch, which is fabulous. And then I also have the little guy, what I usually pull out when I'm doing photo mats or anything like that. But for some reason, didn't do it today. Now I am going to pop this up on some fun foam, or as my friend Crystal has started calling it, lazy foam. I love that she calls it lazy foam, except it's like fun foam and unfun foam are fun together. Like it's, haha, that's cute, that's fun. But like lazy foam and not lazy foam, or unlazy foam, non-lazy foam, that's just doesn't, it's just not as cute. You know? It's just not as cute together. But whatever, call it whatever you want. I don't know. Just call it whatever you want. I hope you didn't hear that. My stomach just growled. The family is in there wrapping up dinner. I started making it and they're finishing it while I came in here to do my voiceover. So hopefully you weren't hearing that stomach growl. Okay, I did try some other things in between here. I actually had a really old Making Memories kind of like rub-on with foil and flock that I tried to use, but the adhesive was bad. You guys, nothing stuck. It was a travesty, so I just threw it away and decided to try some really old Fufala rub-ons because, you know, one really old product didn't work, so why shouldn't the next one? But this one did work. I am using a Creative Memories multi-purpose tool. I think this is the older one in my hand. I used the newer one with the Making Memories stuff that I was trying out, and I guess I just didn't want to have to do anything with it, so yeah, the poor new one got relegated to sitting back in the little sorter organizer thing, and you know, the old tool got to be used. So there we go. Now I was thinking about bringing in some more rub-ons over on this side because it is like that in the sketch, but I decided not to ultimately. I did decide to go all the way across my page with these self-adhesive gemstones. Now these are from, what is that place called? Hobby Lobby. I did get them on clearance, but they sell these kind of things in different colors all kinds of times. Yeah, I'm sure places like Joann's and Michael's sell them too. I just know that I got them from Hobby Lobby. So I am going to make it go all the way across the page. I'm going to do two different colors. I'm going to go ahead and do the green, the greenish color, and also the purple color. Now I bent my photo and actually bent the photo, which stinks, right, Amber? But it's just there. So we're done with it. It's there. Eventually it'll flatten back down. Once I get it in a page protector and into the album, I'm probably not even going to notice it. Or I will, because I talked about it and it gets filed in the brain, where that stuff that for some reason you always remember. You know what I'm talking about? Some like minuscule detail about something that you can recall with utter clarity at any given moment. Like why do our brains work that way? Like why can I remember that kind of stuff, but I can't remember what I was just doing 5 minutes ago? It's so weird. Anyway, apparently I didn't use the green. I thought I used the green. I think I was thinking about using the green and decided not to use the green because it was so neon. That must have been it, because that's what I'm thinking now. That's a little bit neon for the green you've got on that layout, Sandy. So I am going to add just a little bit more of the little gemstones here down on the side because, you know, I want to make sure that this kind of gets embellished as well. Especially because it is the way it happened on the sketch. But, you know, I feel like I go a little bit rogue on this one. Not too much, but I do go a little bit rogue on it. Now, these are the little black and white puffy word stickers from Fifth and Monaco. And at first, I was I'm going to use happiness. Like it was going to be happiness is messy art. But I ultimately decided to change it, and it ends up being celebrate messy art. So I have these glitter thickers that I pulled from my stash. I feel like they're pretty old, and I am going to do the word messy in it. Now I thought about doing the word art, and that was me thinking for a moment, like, do I really want to do messy or do I want it to be art? So we want it to be messy, so that's what we're going to do. And then I put it on there, and it's definitely going uphill, so I just adjust it a little bit so the word is not going uphill so much. And then it still looks like it's going uphill, so I adjust it a little bit more. So we go ahead and get that on there, and then I decide that we're going to have to change it up. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm committing to the messy, and it's going to get on my page with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, because you guys, the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive is the best. It is the absolute best wet glue I have ever used. It is my favorite so far. I've used multiple bottles of it, so it isn't just like me getting a new glue and shouting from the rooftops. Like, I definitely have used it for a while, and if you've watched my videos for a while, you've seen that. Now, I was going to Frankenstein up these letters to spell out the word art, but you really couldn't see it. I felt like I needed something that you were really going to be able to see the word art. So I grabbed these Heidi thickers, and I just spell out art, A-R-T, super easy. And I feel like that pops against the background a lot better than the black did. I just feel like it does. So I've got messy art, and I could have just left the title like that, but I really wanted to bring in these little puffy stickers as well. So I decided to go with celebrate instead of happiness is messy art. And I like this. This works for me perfectly. So the only thing I'm going to do now is add a little bit more sparkle, and I pulled out these blue kind of rhinestone hearts, and I'm going to sprinkle them about. I'm going to sprinkle some over here where the rub-on is, and then I'm going to sprinkle them all along this star border. And it just gives it a little bit of extra, just a little bit of extra. 'Cause sometimes, you know, I feel like this is a pretty bold rainbow background, so we've got that going on. I've got glittery thickers, and I've got, you know, a photo that's got some pretty bold stuff going on in it too. So I didn't really need to add a whole lot, just needed to add it a little bit more. And that's what those little rhinestone stars do. So now, I don't know, it looks like I'm laying hands over my page, but I really have no idea what I'm doing right now. But I decided that I needed to add some journaling. Now, at first, I was going to do my journaling with a black pen. I really do enjoy using the black Muji pen for most of my journaling. However, this time I decided to go with the white Uniball Signo Broad pen. And there I am, I'm touching everything again. But I decided to go with that pen just because I felt like the word art needed a little bit extra white on the layout. So there is some white peeking through on the watercolor bits. And then, of course, the journaling on the sketch that I'm following is up above the photos, underneath the title. But I decided that was not going to work. So I just do some print journaling over here next to the rub-on embellished area. I felt like that was a perfect place to put it. I wasn't just randomly throwing some journaling on the page. It is near an embellishment. It's not just like floating out there and kind of like, what in the world are you doing, Sandy? But at least it makes sense in my head. You might think it's still a little bit funky, and you might have put it next to the photo. I was thinking about putting it in that blue space and writing the journaling vertically instead of horizontally, but I decided not to go that way. Now I do just add some white dots throughout just to give the layout a little tiny bit more white to it. Now I probably would have, if I would have thought about this ahead of time, I probably would have matted the watercolor on white on top of the black just to give it an extra pop of the white. And I'm thinking that probably would look really good right now. But let's face it, I'm not going to tear apart the layout to do that. I'm just not going to, because it's in the done pile. And once you're in the done pile, you're done. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you check the links down below. That way you'll see the Follow a Sketch Friday Pinterest board, and you'll also see today's individual pin. I will see you guys again real soon for another video.